you can see the official website, Skillman.eu, in which we have some information, and we are still implementing the website. So in the very next week, you will have an overview of all the final documentation. Meanwhile, we can have a look to what we have done until now. It has been a quite long way because the project started in January of 2015. We built up a consortium with several partners from industry like Jaguar Land Rover, Fiat, Scandinavian Airlines, and then vocational education providers and certification bodies. This consortium built several innovative trainings, tested the trainings in real classrooms. We made dissemination, we made a lot of scientific research on which were the most innovative focus on the transport sector in advanced manufacturing of the transport sector, and we focused on three main areas, which were industry and production 4.0 specialists, so the specialist manager for the automation of manufacturing, robotics, industrial robotics, and basic composite repair, and also advanced composite repair. These were our three main curricula on which we have worked for several months, at least 2 years, and we have again, as I said, we tested in real classrooms, we define, design curricula, we improve the contents, and finally we are in these days finalizing the documentation in terms of e-books in which there are descriptions of all our curricula, methodological guides, scientific guidances, and whatever you can use in your own context to present those units of learning. How we organize it, this is I would say, the added value of the Skillman project. We have organized our documentation in 3 ways. I mean, you can address the contents in terms of curricula, and the 3 curricula I have presented now are organized in units of learning, so that you can provide an entire curriculum in your classrooms, or you can address units of learning in terms of job roles, which means that you can use several units of learning to define job roles that can even overlap different curriculum. Or you can even be interested in certifications. I mean that all the stuff that we have done, our units of learning, are built upon the ECVET system, which means that the competencies are recognizable also in other countries in Europe. Our 3 main countries were Italy, Denmark, and UK in terms of partnership, but of course, if you are from another European country and you want to use our units of learning, so our entire curriculum in your own context, you will have in the documentation that we are finalizing the guidance to have the the certification from your national body in order to allow the shift of competencies between across borders. And in practical terms, here you have our learning platform, which is learn.skillman.eu, and you can address and have a look, of course, of the main results that we have provided. So for each curriculum, you have several units of learning. Again, we are finalizing the contents of those units of learning because we are still working on the open educational resources that we have to upload on the website. But in terms of framework, of structure, this is the final output. So for each unit of learning, and I'm clicking on the one, I would say, without any knowledge of what's inside, yes, you have the same structures in terms of competencies, knowledge, and skills you have to acquire when you follow these units of learning. And then this is what see the final user of the web learning. But behind this, you also have all the guidances in terms of methodological aspects of assessment and timing and whatever you can use in your own classroom. So first of all, Skillman is a procedure. It's the innovation of how you can build the innovative contents in terms of trainings, and how you can assess the results of the learning activities, and how you can build a network mixing industries and vocational training and certification bodies in order to ensure the best quality of your training activities and the recognition of competencies across borders. So in a very few words, this was the Skillman project, which is going to end by the end of this year. So 31st of December, we will end this first phase, I would say, of Skillman. As Giovanni is going to explain, we are already working on the new activities to improve our methodological approach. We have acquired a lot of subscription of external members in order to share all the documentation. So stay tuned on our Skillman.eu website, because we are also going to provide all the final documentation under the resources link that you can see here on the right. You have the direct access of e-learning platform. You will have all the documentation under the download section. Well, Giovanni, that's it. I think I can stop now my presentation. Of course, we are still connected to give you answers, and feel free to make questions under the chat or whatever. Please, Giovanni.
Okay. Thank you very much, Fabio. Now I'm going to introduce some information concerning the new two proposals that the Skillman consortium is going to make for the next deadline. I see here one question: is learning platform, is it in Moodle? Yes, I can confirm that the Skillman platform for e-learning contents is in Moodle. Is not used like an e-learning classical e-learning approach. Is more a repository where the schools and the students can find open educational resources and implement some activity, but not to make the entire course through this platform, just to retrieve the necessary materials and information. I have to take back the presentation role. Just a moment for this technical aspect, please. Riprende il controllo. Okay. Now I suppose that you see the Skillman logo. Okay. Now I'm going to share another document with you that is online. Okay. So what you see now is the text that is in the online tool for sharing information. I go to make it bigger if I'm able. Yes. Okay. So as was stated by Fabio, the Skillman project was addressing the need to develop a new curricula, innovative curricula in the advanced manufacturing sector, and we have addressed 3 specific sectors, and we have produced different curricula for these 3 specific sectors. As in regard of the next period, we have the intention to move the focus from the transport sector, that was the main aspect treated by the first 3 years period of the Skillman consortium, and to go deep to the technologies. So the idea we have is to make new curricula not related only to transport sector in the next period, but to make new curricula that includes innovation and advanced manufacturing solutions and procedures in existing curricula from different sectors that are not established at the moment. We have an ongoing discussion with the industrial partners to set these contents at the best way, but currently we can say that the intention is to address individual technologies like Internet of Things, robotics, or other that are in the list. So the intention to develop a new curricula, of course, means that Skillman 4.0 will make a new proposal in the sector skill advanced, in the SSA, so that is a sector skill alliance at the next European Commission EASEA deadline. This will be a project that will have full partners that are the partners that implement the research and the new curricula and implement piloting activities and also deployment of existing curricula, and then associated partners that are final beneficiaries of these activities that can give students for mobility, can host piloting activities, and can host also the implementation of the whole curricula already deployed in the first 3 years. So we have this differentiation that means also operational partners that deploy research and write new curricula and new units of learning to integrate the existing school curricula, and beneficiary not fully operational partners that are the ones that benefit from these activities, implement the new curricula in their own schools and universities. In the last weeks, we have tried to reach new partners, as this is the reason why you have received my invitation by email. And the aim is to also reinforce the Skillman network that is currently, I suppose, one of the largest network on innovation in innovation in VET, in the advanced manufacturing sector. And currently we have around 200 bodies that compose the network, and are both industrial and companies representatives, schools, university, and research centers. In the first part of the Skillman life, the first 3 years, one important role was also played by the certification bodies. So we have full members of Skillman 4.0 that are certification bodies. Then you know the other members that are very famous, like Scandinavian Airlines or Fiat or Jaguar Land Rover. And then there are a lot of other important organizations like universities, research centers. For example, we have also the Italian National Research Center, CNR, that is another full membership partner. I see two very nice persons in the screen now. I now go to give you even other information concerning the second channel where the Skillman network is going to present a new project. So we have said, we have defined one that is the continuation of the past concerning the curricula development in the Sector Skill Alliance deadline call. Now, a new sector that we are going to address is the network life. So the Skillman consortium has created this existing network in the last 3 years. There's 200 members are ready to have more interactions. So for this reason, we are thinking to present a request of funds in the strategic partnership field to have the resources to stress the life of the network and to address the life of the network even to ethical aspects that the implementation of these innovations and innovative technologies in the schools can bring with them. So the reference in this case is the ethical approach that we want to have introducing these new technologies in the VET education. I suppose that your microphone works because when you touch it we can hear. So all the microphones are off. I switch off also the Theresia one. When you have to talk, you can switch on your microphone. So I was saying that the ethical approach is the reason of this second proposal, but not only. Of course, we expect to create conferences, webinars, workshops to improve the interactions and the life of the Skillman network. So even here we will have the full members, participants for this proposal and the beneficiary members that are the associated partners. Even like in the other proposal, the full members will be engaged in design and organize. The beneficiaries, so the associated partners, instead will candidate themselves to host the conferences, to host the webinars, to host the other meetings that the network has to organize during his life, like coordination body meetings, etc. And of course, all these costs will be covered by the project. So there is not a direct payment to the associated partners, but the associated partner that will candidate to host the annual conference, for example, will be reimbursed of all the costs. So these are the two project ideas that we are working on. Now I give you the floor and I ask a presentation to each organization. I will follow the line as the queue as I see here in the list of participants in the conference tool. So I'm asking to Alena to introduce very brief, please, because we have 10 participants, so we have no so much time, but considering that we have 3 minutes normally per person. Alena, please introduce yourself and the organization that you represent. Thank you very much. I have switched on your microphone.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Can you hear me well?
Yes, very well.
Yes,
Perfect.
great. I represent the Educational Establishment and Research Center called National Institute for Higher Education, and here we're like two people, me and Andrei Salikov. And I'll shortly have some clues or ideas and then give the floor to him because he has prepared the presentation for you also to have more details. So I'll be quite short and I'll have some ideas in respect of what can we say in two directions that you have just explained to us. And like important ideas that we have is, for example, development technologies and technological approach, which you have mentioned that you would like to develop within Skillman. Here we have good connections with each educational establishment that is developing the competences in this sphere. Moreover, we are the co-organizers of a very famous international conference called OSTIS, and that's the conference which is basically involved in the development of technological aspects and different competences that can match labor markets and can develop personal skills over professional. So it's like an important sphere where personal needs are trying to be matched through education with labor needs. And as for the second approach we have just outlined about values and attitudes and how important it is when to take into account while developing curriculum in that sphere, I should add that our establishment has an organizational unit that is developing various programs and curricula and standards which try to be based on the competence approach, and the sphere of values and attitudes is a sort of a red line that goes through it. So we're not only drafting these documents, but we are monitoring and having detailed additional things. So we're quite experienced in both these two approaches. And in order to outline in more detail what our organization is doing, I'd like to pass this floor perhaps to Andrei, who has more general outlook.
Thank you very much, Elena. Please, Andrei. Okay, your microphone is on now. No, now it's off again. Okay, now it's on. Yes, yes.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay,
yes.
Let me continue my colleague, and I'd like to present some information on the National Institute for Higher Education in more details. So there are some centers in the institute, and in the National Institute for Higher Education operate Center for International Cooperation in Education. And the main role for the center is to promote the Belarusian education system in the international arena and broaden international contacts in the field of education. Here we have Scientific and Educational Center for Labor Protection and Industrial Safety. Is the head organization on normative and methodological support and advanced training of managers and specialists in labor protection. The National Institute for Higher Education is a certification body for occupational health and safety management system. And the National Institute for Higher Education is accredited by the Ministry of Education of the Republic of Belarus and complies with the quality standards for the Department for Quality of the Republic of Belarus. And here we have the Normative and Methodological Center of Higher Education at the National Institute for Higher Education, which is a developer for the network for the Erasmus Plus international credit mobility in Belarus. And let me mention some activity as well. The Department for Lifelong Learning and Professional Education provides the normative, scientific, methodological, analytical, and information support for maintaining for the nationwide qualifiers of Republic of Belarus, so-called specialities and qualifications. We have a number of colleagues that are involved in developing skills, competences, and a modern framework of skills and competences in the labor market. And we have a number of projects in this field. And we would like, and it's our pleasure to join this project. I mean,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. A very clear presentation. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I think that you have already centered the target that we are going to address, because you mentioned both the capacity to make networking and to make grow up the network with new members and new professors and new companies. That is one of the aim of the strategic partnership project. And then also the capacity to work on the design of new curricula, or at least to host the piloting activities, the mobility that normally we implemented also in the first period, moving students from schools to our companies, for example, and also to Turin, to Maserati also, or other company involved. Thank you very much. Now we have your profile, because you have applied in the online form, so we can retrieve the information from the survey that you, the form that you filled. Now I go down in the list. I see Michalis, that I suppose is from Cyprus, or I don't remember. Michalis, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello. You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Basically, our idea regarding the project is like to develop a manual, basically to design a manual on what would be the most interesting of the project idea, which I believe is like the new technologies. So the manual should be about the new technologies used and which will later be piloted to schools.
Michalis, sorry if I interrupt you. Just brief. Can you introduce yourself and your organization, and then we will have the possibility to present also the proposals that you have.
Okay, my name is Michalis Papatherapontos. I'm from Cyprus, and I represent the Reyes Consulting. And we have relevant experience in designing different courses on different themes and different target groups. So now I should focus on the project idea.
Oh, okay. In which field you work? You are consultants for companies or for schools?
Both. Both for schools, and because we work mainly with Erasmus projects, we have a lot of experience with Erasmus projects.
Yeah.
So we also host many students. We host about 400 or 500 students from other countries every year in Cyprus. Also, we host many automotive schools, which is relevant to the topic.
Yeah, for the program, yes.
Yeah.
So you receive students within the Erasmus Plus mobility activities.
Yes. Yeah, and also many times we receive about.
And these are from VET schools or from universities, or both? VET schools.
Mostly.
How many students you said? Sorry, how many students you said you received?
About 500, but it's different fields. So, but the field I think which is the most relevant to you is the automotive sector, I believe. Plus, we host also computer and technologies groups that we make some trainings. But I believe it's more interesting for the project, the automotive groups. We receive about 80 to 100 people a year
Okay, that's very interesting to know, Michalis. In the next stage, in the next project stage for the next 3 years, we will not anymore fully linked to the transport sector. We want make the activity wider to other sectors, focusing on the innovative technologies and not anymore on the sector in itself. So anyway, the transport sector will be, of course, also included, but there will be other sectors that we can touch because we will refer directly to the technologies and not to the sector in itself. So thank you, Michalis. You have an idea about a manual that you were saying something.
Yeah. Basically, the idea is to develop a manual, basically, on the new technologies to the target group that we will define. It depends if we want to make the manual specific to a group, let's say, to the automotive schools. It depends to the target group we want to focus. So I'm not sure about where will be the focus of your project, if it will be the students from automotive, if it will be general technologies. It depends where we want to focus this.
Okay, we will have time to explain how to go on with the new ideas and proposals for the projects. This will be done after the individual presentations of the participants here. So I thank you very much, Michalis, for your presentation and availability to make new products within the Skillman framework. I go on and I see here Luis Ochoa, that seems from Poland. Luis? It seems that Luis has not the microphone connected, so I go down below Luis. I see Manos, that is from Greece, but even Manos maybe has not the microphone connected. Manos, are you able to talk?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
Thank you very much to be here, Manos. Please.
You're welcome. First of all, good morning to all of you. I would like to thank you, Giovanni, for initiating this call and this discussion. Let me say first a couple of things about our organization. I am from Asset Technology, established in Athens, Greece. Asset is a private company activating in business consulting since 1997. So we are now completing 20 years of activity in the market. We have various activities, but we can say that we have 4 basic pillars. One is the capacity building. The second one is vocational education and training. The third is technological aspects, and the fourth is entrepreneurship. For this reason, and because of these types of activities, the Skillman project is very interesting for us, both in the frames of the extending the network of the project already implemented, but also applying new proposals under a new topic and a new part of the industry. I would like also to mention that also for Greece, the industry for concept is a hot topic, and it is attracting a lot of interest, both from the manufacturers, but also from the end users. And we can see this in various levels. So it will be of very much interest to discuss these approaches to extend the networks of the Skillman project, both with the work done so far, but also with the new sectors that are going to be integrated in the new proposal.
That's right. Thank you very much, Manos. It was very short but very clear, and we understand that you have relevant connections with companies, and you are consultants for them, and I think that it's important to involve more companies and to make possible to apply the curricula that we developed also in the companies, like we did in the first phase with such big industries. But it's our intention to go deep and to also become able to address smaller companies and not only the big industry leaders. Anyway, we will keep in touch to understand how you can deploy the project in Greece. I go back to Luis, that in the time I see has activated the microphone. Perfect. So please, Luis, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, I'm from Spain, but I work in Poland and I live in Poland. That's why it's my surname like that. And okay, we are from NGO in Poland, and we cooperate closely with formal and non-formal educational institutions, local authorities, and the small and medium enterprises in our region, in the region that was a coal mining region, and now it's becoming more services. We are, of course, a foundation, and we do research in the field of science, formal, non-formal education. As I said to you, we got business. I'm a professor in a university in Katowice, and I got also contact with another institutions, of course. We support the development local communities. We do some social, science, cultural, information technology, entrepreneurship, and charity we do also, of course. We conduct and support information and educational activities. We do meetings, seminars, workshops, conferences, debates, fairs, courses, exhibitions. We do all these kind of things to promote the activities and the projects that we are involved. I myself, I got more than 20 years working with Erasmus, Erasmus Plus, Campus, and now our institution, even though it's young, from 2004, we are dealing with a few projects. Erasmus Plus, I mean AA2 projects, and we are happy if we could be engaged in this network, and we can do all the activities that you can assign us. My institution is research and innovation in education. But education, but entrepreneurship and education as online courses as well, of course.
Okay, I missed some of the last words, I suppose because of the internet connection, but I got at least the 90% of your presentation, Luis. Thank you very much for your introduction to your ONG. Sorry?
We have everything you need. You got in our web page. It's indy.pl.
Yeah.
Everything is there.
Yeah. Then there will be the opportunity to share the profiles among the network that you have joined, the Skillman network. So I see that in your component is very relevant, the social aspects that you deploy, interacting with local community and various organizations. That's very important for the strategic partnership project that we are going to propose to the European Commission, because the aim of this project is to stress the communities to be conscious about the impact that the new technology, the innovation and technologies have when they are introduced in through the school system to the industry. And it's important that everyone take knowledge and conscience about the effect that this technology do on the daily life. So it's important to have partners like you to be able to involve the communities in this debate and to produce consciousness among citizens and students and the school as a system. Thank you very much, Luis. I go down in the list and I see here Teresia. I don't know who is connected by the phone 0025. Please, Teresia, you can take the floor. Hello? We have other participants that are joining the conference. I see you, but I don't hear the voice. Yes?
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, it works.
Hello.
Good.
Ok. Giovanni, buongiorno. Siamo dal nord della Russia. Mi chiamo Maria e lei è Svetlana. Thank you for invitation to this conference. We represent Petrozavodsk State University located in the northwestern part of Russia on the border with Finland. And our university is known as a flagship university, and its mission is in social and economic development of the Russian Arctic zone. And particularly, we are representing a budget monitoring center as a structural subdivision of Petrozavodsk State University. And our center's mission is a projection of labor market parameters and skills anticipation at the same time. And the main stakeholder of our project is the Ministry of Education and Science, Federal Ministry in Moscow. So we are running both federal and regional projects. And a couple of years ago, we were running a project titled High-Tech Skills Anticipation Analysis. And the main goal of that project is outlining of perspective skills for high-tech industries, and particularly for transport sector as well. And in order to achieve that goal, we performed such activity as surveyed employers and made several foresight sessions in Moscow, and then we verified our results via surveys again. And as a result, we had elaborated several tools for the Ministry of Education and Science, and particularly skills barometer. So, for example, we know which skills are in deficit and proficit and imbalance in the labor market for transport sector in Russia. So we could contribute to that project. I mean, we are methodologies and tools which we used to develop here and implement.
Thank you very much. I don't know if Svetlana wants to add something. Okay.
Hello. I think that Maria said some general idea about our activity. So this project is highly interesting for us because we have good background for this project. So I think that.
Thank you very much. It's very. I see. Just a moment. Okay. It's very good to have you in the discussion because for what I have understood, your profile really fit very well with the Sector Skill Alliance first period, and even I can confirm for the second one when you mention things like the skill barometer or the skill anticipation. Sorry, Murat, just a moment. We are going on with the discussion. I will give you the floor. Just a moment. So I think that your university, I was saying, fits very well with the project ideas and purposes, and it's important that we discuss more in depth the potential collaboration we have. So we will do it, of course, in face-to-face discussions, face-to-face contacts. So I go down in the list. I see the list change every moment, so it's quite difficult to keep on the same track. But okay, I have Murat that maybe is able to introduce himself and the organization that he represents. Okay, Murat, your microphone is on now.
I call you from Antalya, Turkey, and I am working with 3 organizations. One of them is the non-profit organization. It is Youth Association. The second one is a company, a consultancy company, and the last one is the municipality. It is the local authority in Antalya, the center of Antalya municipality. I am working with young people in different files, and we are interested in Skillman. What can we do?
Okay, Murat, we hear you.
Yeah, very good. It is possible we want to be partner as organization, as company, and the municipality as 3 organizations. What can we do for this project? I want to learn from your side.
Okay, Murat, thank you very much for your brief introduction. We understand that you are working in different realities, fields, and with different stakeholders. Our interest is to have on board organizations that are able to disseminate the results of Skillman investigation, and also to involve organizations that can bring on a discussion among civil society concerning the ethics of the innovation and technologies implemented in the curricula. So it's important that you give your support to address our debate to the schools, to the students, and to the civil society in general. I see your role that is very important for the strategic partnership proposal. So we will contact you back after the meeting to discuss your involvement in the project. Thank you very much. Time is going to end, and other people joining the conference. We won't give the floor to everybody, but we cannot pass the time too much. So I go to Losif, I suppose from Romania now. Please, it's your time. I switch on your microphone. Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
My name is Josif. I am the representative of Vox Civica organization. It's an organization established in 2010, and until now, our organization was involved in many projects, especially Hello?
Yes, please go on. There was a microphone open. Sorry.
Open. Okay. Our organization was involved in many projects, especially in Erasmus+, and also in some projects developed with financing from the European Union within project line developed in Romania, such as human resources and human capital. Our expertise is in education field because I acted as teacher almost 20 years, and since 2010 I am involved in civil society in Romania, in Buzău, not far away from Bucharest, the capital of Romania. And we have as partner many important institutions from national level, like Ministry of Labor and Ministry of Education. And last year, our organization was certified like Competence Balance Center. If you know, I think yes, in almost 10 countries around the EU was developed a Center for Competence Balance according to the procedure of FECBOP, the Fédération Européenne de Centres de Bilan de Compétences et d'Orientation Professionnelle. Our organization was accredited for such activities, and we want to involve our organization in your project. We have a young team with people who worked a lot in education in the human resources. Two of them are hired in child protection, and they are dealing with people who are under institutional, who receive institutional support. And we want to develop our activity in this field, in entrepreneurship, in labor market, and in education. If you have a question for us, I'm open to answer.
Yes, I didn't understand which city are you based?
In Romania, Buzău, not far away from Bucharest, 100 kilometers from Bucharest, in the southeastern part of Romania.
Okay, and I understood more or less activities that you develop, but you are an NGO, you said?
Yes, of course. We are an NGO established in 2010 according to Romanian law.
Thank you very much, Iosif. The presentation was very interesting. I see that we have a big potential as a network, and we see that the differentiation among the characteristics of the partners that are taking initiative. Who has the microphone on, please? Yes, this one. I see that this is a big opportunity we have to spread the activities, to spread the philosophy that is behind Skillman in many different directions and with different stakeholders. You mentioned also your role with the Ministry of Education. Can you specify better, please?
Last week we were together with a representative of Ministry of Education in local area. We are involved in a project together with partners from Germany, Hungary, Greece, and Portugal in a project in education field in order to improve the level of literacy among people belonging to vulnerable groups, because we have a lot of projects in this area, and our organization have expertise in drafting curricula for many courses for prepare the teachers in order to provide services for people belonging to this group.
Thank you very much.
Also, we have a very good relationship with the labor office in Buzău, because we develop also together with this institution many activities in the field of entrepreneurship together with the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Buzău.
Okay, thank you very much.
We are involved together in 2 projects.
Yes. It seems that you have a lot of activities, and the curricula development can be one of the contact points. Another one can be the capacity to diffuse among different stakeholders the ethical debate, and finally, if you have connection with schools, also the piloting implementation of the curricula that Skillman own and will go to develop in addition. So I suppose that everybody had the possibility to present themselves, very brief, but of course the discussion is not ending here. Now I will share my screen and I will go back to the same document than before. I suppose, okay, I suppose that now you have to, do you see the document now online?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Yes. So this is the form that I suppose you have received the link in the invitation to the conference. I don't know if you had the time to have a look to this. What we are going to do now, 2 things. One, we will ask you if you agree to make public the presentations that you have done, that we are recording now live. And this is one part to stress the relevance of you as individual members of the Skillman network in this context. Then, in parallel to this, we will receive from you proposals for role participation in the new Skillman phase, or for new ideas through this form, and we will contact you after having received this information to discuss one-to-one how can be the deployment of what you propose, or what are you going to propose, and the Skillman consortium collaboration. So this form introduces you to 3 aspects that we are going to investigate. These 3 aspects is, the first one is if you have new projects, ideas that you are going to present to the next EASEA deadline. So we ask you if you need support or partnership among the network. So the first aspect is to define these new ideas to be able to receive support from the network in itself. The second part, the second aspect we are going to investigate with this form is your interest or eventual proposals for the strategic partnership, next strategic partnership period. And the third one is the proposals, ideas, and availability to participate to the Skillman strategic alliance. Sorry, maybe I have mixed the 2 parts. No, the point 2 is the strategic partnership, and the point 3 is the sector skill alliance. Sorry, I reversed the both. So what does it mean this? You have a form here. You can write your name, your email address, and then you select for which one of the 3 arguments that I have illustrated before you are filling the form. So, for example, I have an activity that I would propose for the Skillman network, that is the strategic partnership network. And then I have a possibility to give a title to the idea, to write here text, and so you have a possibility to put longer text. And then if I need some help to bring on this idea, in case that this idea is a new project or whatever, so I can define it here. Otherwise, I complete only the abstract of the idea, and then the Skillman team will revise all the proposals, and we contact you to discuss this idea. If you have link to some website or online resource that can express better your idea, you can put here the links, and then you can also add attachments in the last part of the form. Then you submit, and we will receive your proposal, and we will revise it to involve you in the project, in the new proposals that we are going to present at the end of February. So the aim of this work is try to find innovative proposals to identify resources. One moment, I silenciate. There is 1 hour maybe delay in the connection of this participant. So the aim of this work is to identify even resources like we did now in terms of capacities, relationships with organizations, in terms of possibility to spread and to make a dissemination among different stakeholders. So this process will be done in the next 2 weeks. I recommend to you, please, to make as soon as possible your proposals for the project, and this doesn't exclude that you have already applied as associated partners, but of course to go on even with the full partnership, we need to have this interaction in the next days. So I see a new participant. I cannot give the floor to you now, but and then I have to close this this meeting. I don't know if there is some question to clarify this last point. Otherwise, we are going to close because we have another meeting in few minutes.
I was wondering if you are going to send us some resume, some I don't know, some notes. What we should do, what we are going to do, because perhaps we forgot about it.
Yes,
Okay.
Luis. First thing, there is one problem to collect your email addresses, because in the Doodle platform there was not indicated the email.
Gmail. Okay, I will send another email.
No, another email. No. In the Doodle platform, we collected only the names, but for some participants, we didn't have the possibility to put in connection the name with the email. So some participants couldn't be invited because of this mistake that there was the name but not the email. And Doodle platform doesn't allow us to see the email of the subscribers. So in this sense, I don't know, but you received the invitation, for example, by email for this conference?
Yes, I received by email.
Okay. Yes. In the invitation, there is the link to this form. That is the next step. Then after this, we will contact back all of you to identify better the roles that you can have in the project proposals, and then we will go on with the new idea and new proposals that you will submit through this form. So thank you very much to have taken part to this meeting. I see, yes, that there is the new participant. I don't know your name. It's not written. We have to close this meeting now because we are going to start with the new one, and you can take part to the next meeting. If you just remain connected, you can take part to the next meeting that will be in few minutes. So thank you very much to everybody. We have a large network of relevant stakeholders. I think that your organization are very important to bring on a very relevant new proposal. Thank you very much. We do keep in touch and have face-to-face new contact. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.